Viktorija Riveros Mitrović, La Paz, Bolivija, profesor španskog jezika, živi i radi u Novom Sadu.
Dejvid Anthony Kitchinger, London, Engleska, pesnik i kompozitor, živi u Novom Sadu.
Seth Charter, Marta Zinjard, Sjedinjene Američke Države, vlasnik restorana, trenutno živi u Novom Sadu.
Kako ste vi uopšte došli u Novi Sad? Meni je bilo posebno zanimljivo, jer mislim da takve priče prosto retko srećemo i odluke da se promeni potpuno način života i dođe u zemlju koja je ipak potpuno drugačija od zemlje iz koje vi potičete.
Pa ja sam, dobro, zovem se Viktorija Riveros i ja sam Mitrović, pardon, još. I došla sam iz Bolivije već davno vremena, zato što sam ja radila kao razmjene studenata, smo došla ovamo, jer ja sam studirala na neku školu tamo, srednju školu se zvala JSFJ Jugoslavija u to vreme. I onda je bilo htjeli su da naprave neke razmjene studenata i ja sam bila prva učenik, odnosno generacija koja sam došla kao razmjene studenta u to vremena. Nažalost, poslije toga nije moglo zbog toga što je došlo rat i onda to je bilo malo komplikovano da se to deši i onda tako sam došla, studirala sam poljoprivredni fakultet i poslije sam se više bavila učenje španskog jezika, odnosno predavanje španskog jezika.
That was my friend Viktor Karistash. He convinced me. I was like, I'm going to do some traveling, and I've been to Bulgaria before and a couple areas around here. And he said, how come you ever come to Serbia? And now I'm here 4 years in a row, so my first impression was very good.
How you decided to come first to Serbia, and how you decided to become Serbian?
Well, I was looking at the religion. I wanted to change religion to Orthodox. I looked at all three, Greek, Russian and Serbian. I met what is now my Kuma on the internet, and we met here. And then from there I met some really good people, and I just kept coming back for longer and longer and longer, and then stayed.
Why did you get in love so much in Serbia,
well,
Serbian people and everything?
Actually, technically, it's my 5th time, because in this summer I got married here in Subotica. So it was kind of an interesting situation. I came for 9 days. I just flew right into Belgrade. And we got in, I think, Friday night, my brother and my best friend. And then we went directly to Bačka Topola, where my wife and her family are from. And afterwards we got in Friday night, got married Saturday morning, and that's why I'm here.
And how did you propose, Arleta?
Well, originally I proposed on the phone because that's all we had. I was in the States, so I Skyped her and I said, we should probably do this. And thank God she said yes, so that was good. But at the airport, I kind of snuck by security on the way out, and she was waiting for me, and she was waiting, like so nervous, like a leaf, like shaking. And I snuck by her, and then I turned her around, and I was on my knee, and I gave her my grandmother's ring.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So it was a good proposal.
Koji je bio vaš prvi utisak kada ste stigli ovde? Sećate li se, dakle, vašeg dolaska i nečeg što će vam uvek ostati? Kažu, obično u sećanju ostanu ili lepe ili ružne stvari.
Kod nas je suptropska klima, tako da mi imamo bukvalno cela godina i voće i povrće i mislim što se tiče kapute i te stvari imamo, nije da nemamo, ali nema toliko hladnoće. Kada su meni rekli ideš kako se zove u Jugoslaviju, tadašnje vreme je bila Jugoslavija, i kaže treba da nosiš neki dobar kaput, jak, dobar čizme i ja. Ja kažem dobro, mama mi pripremala jedan dobar kaput i ja kažem jel imaš ti kaput dobro? Ja kažem da imam. I kada su pokazali, pa kaže to nije za ovo doba, nego to ti je za proleće ili za jesen, ovo će se umreti od hladnoće. Tako da je, i to je bilo također malo. Meni je najviše do dan danas ne smeta klima.
I suppose that you like a lot of things here, because you live here very long, but what you don't like?
What I don't like? Like everywhere, you know, it's a struggle at times, you know, and it's no different for me. I do work hard, but it's still a struggle. And, you know, what got me the other days, I was walking and there was an old woman and she was eating out of the bin. And for me, that summed it up. You know, it's struggle in England, but I've never seen that before. You know, and this isn't... to be politically correct here. This isn't like, however you say, Romy or something like this. This is just an old woman, obviously had no money and was just, you know, scraping in the bins. And for me, I think that shows how society is and what a struggle it can be nowadays. And I don't believe it's just this country. I believe there's a lot of countries the same.
I would say cigarettes, smoking inside, kills me. I mean, normally when you go out in the States, you know, in the majority of the States, you can't smoke inside anywhere. In a lot of places, you can't smoke within 100 feet of a building. And so because of that, I'm not used to it. And you normally, if you're going to dress up really nice to go out, because, you know, that's what you do, and you go with your good clothings out here, they're so smoky, and your, you know, hair, and it's just, you know, the next day you're like, you know, so I would definitely like that to change.
What kind of music usually do you like to listen? What is your favorite?
Rock and roll, old classic rock and roll is what I always like. Rolling Stones, Beatles, I love The Who, The Doors are excellent, you know, all the really, really like old style that you can relax, and then, you know, when you're driving in a car, it's perfect.
I don't need to fight to prove I'm right. I don't need to be forgiven. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I would like to hear from you a little bit some story about Martha's Vineyard, because the island is like a fairy tale.
Well, it's a weird place because it has pretty much the natives that are just, we live off of tourists, and so we really appreciate the tourists, because they're like, without them we would be poor and we wouldn't have work. So they come and we work for them, and then when they come, they appreciate it, because even if they're well off or rich, you can do pretty much anything relaxing on the vineyard. But the celebrities really appreciate it because we treat them normal. We don't really care they're famous, because there's just so many of them now, and you know, it's like a nice place. Supposedly it's really nice for them just to be able to come and, you know, relax and become like a human again.
Ja volim prirodu i hvala Bogu kod nas u Boliviji ima jako puno. Ima jako puno priroda, tako da je prvo to bi mestima koje bez obzira što nisu, mislim, turističko, ja bi to, i drugo na pijacu. Zato što je još uvek, mislim, ja živim, ovdje mi je super kad je leto. Kad idem na pijacu i onda vidim sve šarene, sve boče i to mi je super.
Why people from Serbia like and love that island so much?
Well, it makes sense coming from Serbia when you guys, the only water you have is rivers and lakes or whatever, so you don't have the sea. And on the island, I mean, it's like island life is always, you know, a little more fresh, and like people are only having fun, and it's a tourist spot. It's a good place to work because it's seasonal, so you come, the money you get paid is generally a few dollars more per hour than like on the mainland. And because it's an island, everybody, you know, you're going to know everybody. It's not like, you know, if you were off island, which is everywhere but Martha's Vineyard, you basically could be in a city and you could never see the same person. You could see him today, but you'll never see him again. On the island, that's impossible.
Where would you take us if we go to London? What we should see?
No, there's my favourite place in London is Camden Town, where Amy Winehouse is from. It's not far from where I was. There's a lot of energy, some great markets, the MTV studios are there, some great bands, and you can feel the energy. You know, it's a little piece of London that you can really feel like a lot of freedom, a lot of energy. And you can just be yourself there. There's no prejudice, there's no judgment on you. You know, you can wear what you want. There's a lot of punks there, a lot of tattoo studios, a lot of flea markets, and it's my favourite place in London.
How many people live in Ireland?
Well, it's
When it's out season, so
16,000.
16,000.
And it's 7,000 Brazilians, I believe, and then the rest are native, natural Americans. And every year we're getting more and more, but it's still so small. In the summer, it can be up to, President Obama was there this summer, and he was right. He
Every summer.
He wasn't. He was there 3 out of the last 4 years. So,
yes.
Yeah, and which was insane because he was actually right outside my restaurant, and like his good friend is living really close to my restaurant, so it was like right behind it, and there was huge fireworks going on. And because of that, like I went to take some trash out in the back of the restaurant, and I got stopped by the Secret Service, and they were like, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" I'm like, "Trash."
The bomb.
Yeah, right, exactly, bomb. And they like searched me, and then I went to the dumpster, and the dumpster was full, so I had to go to another area, and they were like, "What are you doing?" Like following me around, like ready to shoot me the whole time. It was crazy.
Did you meet some famous people from, I don't know, Hollywood? World of music.
When I was younger, I worked in my father's had a deli, a restaurant deli. When I was a lot younger, when I was 15, and I met Keith Richards and his son. They came in. We had Dan Aykroyd is there all the time.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill.
We can mention also a famous movie.
Jaws was a great film, but it helped make the island a famous place that all rich people wanted to go, and it's like a status symbol. If you wear like a shirt that says Martha's Vineyard, then you're like, oh my God, you went to Martha's Vineyard? That's so great, and everyone's like, wow. But when you're actually living there, it's just you're living there.
People still can see sharks.
There were a couple years.
Dangerous maybe because of that.
No. Well, because
Not
of
so
the Gulf Stream, occasionally we get some great white sharks. Obviously the huge ones. And a couple summers ago, a guy got in a rowboat, and he somehow made it look like he was a shark. And they shut down all the beaches, and there was helicopters flying around. And then they found out it was fake. But there's no real danger.
Don't screw it up now. Don't wait for me. Now! Shoot!
What kind of music you like to listen?
Depends what mood I'm in. I like dance music if I'm in a club. There's some great dance stuff out there. I've just written a dance track, so I'm a rock boy. I was born rock. I was more The Who, Led Zeppelin, Pearl Jam. My favourite band of all time is Radiohead.
Radiohead.
Yeah, I love Radiohead. Seen them a lot of times. It's my favourite band.
But I'm a creep.
We are in tattoo studio, and you have some tattoos in relationship with Orthodox religion and those symbols. Please show me that.
Well, this one is from one of my students. He's a Syrian, and it's from Sveta, Georgia, in Syria. That, because I have arthritis, it's a copper bracelet from London. My church name is yeah, it's done in a Gothic and Cyrillic style to kind of still keep both countries. Yeah. I have a lot more, but they're all over. I'm not stripping off for you.
have your own business on
Yes.
Marta's Vineyard.
Yes,
and you work also with some Serbian people.
We-
work with you. So can you tell us something more about
Okay,
that?
sure. First of all, my business is called Pirate Jack's Burger Shack. It's a father and son business. Me and my dad run it together, like we're partners, which is interesting at times. And we opened last year, and when we opened, we had maybe a couple Montenegrins, 3 Serbians, and maybe a Croatian all working for us. And this year we brought maybe 8 Serbians from with an agency here to Martha's Vineyard.
I do a lot of writing. I wrote a song for Studio Electric a couple of years ago. I've written maybe 5 songs to Svetlana Palada. She was actually the first Serb I managed to get to sing in the BBC. And she sang in the Pizza Express Jazz Cafe in Soho. Although I'm not a big fan of jazz, I can write it quite well. At the moment I'm working on 3 songs. Perry Elledge is helping me with this. Hopefully he will be recording. And I'll be going to Hollywood, Los Angeles in August with all 3 songs.
Something about Serbian language. You understand a lot of things.
I understand a few things, yeah.
You understand, yeah. But what was speaking?
Ajde, plisko malo jezik.
Teško ide.
Oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. I can say a lot, but it's hard to form sentences. People understand. It's a little bit like, when people try and speak in English, I can understand what they're saying or trying to say. It's the same the other way around. People usually understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm pretty sure I'm not saying it right.
I'm sure that you know a lot of Serbian words. When I call you on the phone, you say, "Hey, brate, kako si?"
Yeah, I try, but I mean, I can't roll my R's, so when I say brate, I'm not saying brate like you're saying brate. So I'm trying, but it's really hard for me to learn the language because, of course, learning Cyrillic is impossible for me.
Yeah,
I'm like, when I read Novi Sad, I read Hoben. I'm like, Hoben cow? So that's how good my Serbian is. But I'm slowly learning, but because Arleta's parents are Hungarian, I'm hopefully going to learn a little Hungarian as well. But
you know some Hungarian?
Some, but not enough. I mean, sure is beer. So that's really good.
Do you know to say something romantic to your wife in Hungarian or Serbian?
Not really.
Really?
No.
I have to teach you.
Please do.
Say in camera, Arleta, volim te.
Volim te, Arleta.
Koju muziku slušate uopšteno? Koju muziku volite?
Iskreno? Iskreno ja uvijek slušam latinoameričku muziku. Tako da je pop muzika, ne znam, salsa, mislim, za igranje, šta god.
Ja moram opet da kažem da smo imali priliku da poznamo vaše ćerke. Vaše ćerke su za lepotice, izuzetno.
Hvala.
I mislim da je divan spoj, evo, 2 kulture, ali i genetike, one su zaista izuzetne. Verujem da i primaju kompliment od tvojeg vršnjaka jedne i druge.
Da, dobro. Pogotovo Juana, mislim da je ona mešovite skroz, zato što je na neki način ima dosta svoj tate, buče i nešto moje. Ona ima moje, recimo, zato što je ona tamno puta kao ja, ali ima atrakcije kao svoj tata, ima talasastu kosu i te. A dok Paula, recimo, Paula je kao dete odavde, odnosno ona ima ten beli, ali jako ima energiju, odnosno upoređuje. Juana je mirna na neki način, ona ide na tato, sve na polako, nema problema i sve, dok Paula, ona ima energično, ona sve može, brzo i to.
Can you tell me your maybe memories from childhood? Something about it.
I always wanted to be a footballer when I was younger. I didn't have a good childhood, to be fair, it was tough. there was a lot of abuse, to be fair, when I was growing up. I grew up in quite an abusive environment. I was paralysed when I was a kid. I couldn't walk when I was a child.
Really?
Yeah, I was in hospital for 2.5 years. And I had those things that Forrest Gump had on his legs. I had them. Calipers. I had calipers on my legs for 6 months. I had a disease called Perthes disease, which is a childhood disease, but they didn't know in that time. They said I'd never walk again. But I actually did, and I managed to play football. I played for England under-19s.
Oh, really?
But then I got a massive injury a week before I was supposed to sign academy for Millwall, and I snapped everything behind my knee in an English Schools FA Cup match against Scunthorpe. And Scunthorpe is no team I like anymore. Some of my friends went on to play. My friend Jonathan Greening, he went on to play for Manchester United. So
You could be Manchester United star.
Yeah, but I can't look back and, what if, it's happened, so you have to move on.
You was born in Manchester, but you live in London.
Yes.
Do you support Manchester United?
Manchester United, there's no other team. There's no other. Don't even go there, there's no other.
Only Manchester.
There's only one colour, red.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Nemanja Vidic in England.
Uh-huh.
What people think about him over there?
Well, I think they respect him.
They know that he's Serbian.
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah. There is, him, Ivanovic, is obviously well respected as well. If I had a second team, it would be Chelsea.
Ja ove godine nisam uopšte videla, mada moje dece obožavaju bolivijske muzičare. Zašto ih nema ovih godina u centru Novog Sada?
Pa oni dolazi iz Budimpešte, oni se nalaze u Budimpešti. Dosta njih ja poznajem, zato što je upravo kad god su dolazili, oni su uvek, kako išla sam kod njih ili dolazili kod mene kući, oni su u Budimpeštu, sad neki od njih je zbog viza ili je zbog toga što je jednostavno nisu imali više dozvola da sviraju, pošto je pretpostavljam da bi svirali na ulici ili u centru grada i moraju imati dozvolu i onda zbog toga.
What's your plan for future?
My future plan?
About Serbia, about your life and everything?
I mean, as far as right now, we're just going to live maybe half time there and half time here. We're not really plan makers as far as the real future, but we'll see.
How long I'll come back, For me, it's also about the job. I can't do my job here. That's my main problem here. Mm-hmm. Because this is a country of turbo folk, and, that kind of music. So Western music isn't as popular. As a writer, I could stay here and write, but I need to go to the places to make the connections.
Formirala sam porodicu ovde, dobili smo dete i onda posle toga jednostavno je bilo tu. Kažem, ja sam prva 3 godina imala ta kriza kao koče i onda sam shvatila da jednostavno mogu da idem bilo gde, da idem u Kini, ali moram da vidim, odnosno ako već odlučujem da budem tu, onda da budem otvorena i da mi sve bude kako treba i da znam, da razumem zašto je tako.
To be fair, I would marry a Serbian girl. I would not marry a Western girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I do think Serbian girls have a lot more self-respect. Even if I moved to America or moved back to England, I would marry a Serbian girl. That you can count on.